This folder is ingenious.
Okay, time 7 o'clock. I'm going to declare the meeting open. Town of Walkerville would like to acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on today and respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We recognise the many generations of stewardship the Kaurna people have provided to this land and respect that their cultural heritage and beliefs are as important today as they were for their ancestors. Present at the meeting, we have all councillors other than Councillor Nemke, who has sent in an apology. We also have staff, acting CEO, group manager, assets and infrastructure, and senior governance officer, and Sarah is in the first case. She's not in attendance. Moving on to item 3, which is the confirmation of minutes. Item 3.1, that council receive and note the minutes of the audit and risk meeting held on 5th of August 2026. It's moved by Councillor Vanstone and seconded by Councillor Zeppel. All those in favour? It's carried. Item 3.2, that council confirm the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 20th of July 26 as a true and accurate record of the proceedings. It's moved by Councillor Trotter, seconded by Councillor Allinson. All those in favour? That is carried. And item 3.3, that council receive and note the minutes of the Error Board meeting held on the 30th of July 26. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Vanstone and seconded by Councillor Zeppel. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 4, declarations of interest. Does anyone have any declaration of interest for this evening? Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I'll declare a general interest in item 17.3, but however, as it's confidential, I'll bring that up at a point in time.
Thank you, Councillor Williams. Anyone else? No. Item 5, business adjourned. There is none. Item 6, deputations. There are none. Item 7, petitions. There are none. Item 8, the Mayor's diary. Any questions on that? Is there a mover? Thank you, Councillor Trotter, and seconded by Councillor Allinson. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 9, council member updates. Does anyone wish to give an update? Councillor Cole.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the Walkerville W. We had a visit other day. They just presenting the new merchandise, the bottles and hats and everything, so that we can bring community together. So it went nice to be there.
Thanks, Councillor Cole. Councillor Trotter.
Yes, just an update from Walkerville Community Committee. There will be further information coming to light, but we're really excited that a grant that council put in on our behalf has been accepted for $25,000 to do the community garden.
That's
so
amazing.
We are extremely happy that not only do we have the council support in maintaining that, but we also have the go-ahead to start. So we're very, very happy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you as the chair of that committee.
Thanks.
Any other updates? Okay, so the next item is item 10, questions from the gallery. There are none. Questions without notice from any council members. There are none. There are no questions with notice. Are there any motions without notice? No, there are no motions with notice. So that moves us to item 15, which is decision reports, and item 15.1, council resolution register. Any questions on this? Okay, then I look for a mover. Thank you, Councillor Core. Seconder, Councillor Trotter. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 15.2, community engagement policy endorsement. Mohammed, anything to add to the report?
Nothing further to add, Mayor.
Any questions on this report? Okay, in which case I look for a mover. Councillor Allinson has moved. Councillor Core has seconded. All those in favour? Carried. Item 15.3, policy review, community grants program policy. I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but does anyone have any questions? Okay, Mohammed, anything to add?
Nothing further to add, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, otherwise I'll look for a mover. Councillor Zeppel, thank you, seconded by Councillor Core. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 15.4, call for nominations of the Greater Adelaide Regional Organisation of Councils, also known as GAROC. We have two options here. One is for someone to either nominate, or if no one wants to put their hand forward, then an option to not nominate anyone to GAROC. My understanding from other councils is that Mayor Anne Monceau is being nominated by Burnside. Mayor Michael Hewitson is being nominated by Unley, though he is not intending to run for mayor again. So his, if he was elected to GAROC, that would cease from the elections in April. And that Councillor Anna-Liam Bruno has been nominated by Campbelltown. So, does anyone wish to nominate? Okay, well, in that case, I'll look for someone to
I'll
move.
move option, officer recommendation B.
Thank you. That's been moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Zeppel. All those in favour, carried. Item 15.5 is call for nomination of the Local Government Association President. So for this one, as you may, I'm sure you know, the presidency switches from a GAROC person to a SAROC person. We've currently got a GAROC person, which means the next president will be from SAROC, which is the regions. We can nominate someone if we wish, otherwise we can go with option B, which is not nominating anyone. Does anyone wish to nominate anyone from the regions?
So before we do that, can I just clarify, Your Worship, do we even know if any of these people, my understanding is we don't even know if these people, if we nominate someone, whether they're even going to want to do it.
Correct,
Anyway.
we haven't sought there, and that would be the process. If we did nominate,
Yeah.
the LGA would then seek the approval.
Oh, I see, yeah, okay, that was my read on it. Look, I'm not happy, I don't know, do we need to suspend procedures to talk about it, or?
Well, I'll just add that I know that two mayors have sought nomination by their councils. So there should be nominations to the role. And so it's up to us whether we would wish to nominate anyone.
I'm happy to put it on the table that I know, just from meeting her, when I was at the Deputy Mayor Forum, Mayor Maura Jenkins spoke really well. I thought she was really good, but then in terms of procedural fairness, I don't really know much about the others, so I can't really, I think it was Sir Rodney, I've met him before, but yeah, I was impressed with what Maura presented, so I'd be happy to nominate based on that, but then if we don't really know if she's going to want to do it, it makes it difficult as well.
We can suspend meeting procedures if you would like to discuss this, if there's a show of hands. Right, okay, so we're in meeting procedures, so do you want to move or?
Oh yeah, look, I'm happy just to put it on the table, that I'll nominate Mayor Maura Jenkins from the City of Victor Harbour.
I'll second.
Okay, so that's our nomination then, and that's been seconded by Councillor Allenson. Does anyone else wish to speak for or against?
I think she's a hopeless mayor.
Look, again, I can only go based on the fact that she presented well there at that forum. If you want to put someone else forward, now's your opportunity as well.
Anyone else for or against?
Well, thank you, Mayor Jones. I'll just make a comment that once people get nominated, it will come back to us to vote anyway.
Correct.
Okay, no one else wishes to speak, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 15.6, appointment of representative to the Local Government Finance Authority Annual General Meeting. Okay, so we have an officer recommendation, and is there anyone that we wish to nominate as a member of the LGFA? Sorry, I'm just going to ask the question, who are the potentials to nominate? So, but who is the pool of potential nominations?
There was something.
Does it have to be mayors, or is it CEOs, or who are we nominating?
Looks like mayors.
Elected member and
Nominations.
52. Eligible nominations.
But again, I don't think we're required to nominate anyone.
It can be a mayor, council member, officer.
Yeah, member or officer
Mm.
can be nominated.
member.
That's found on the attachment A,
Page 7.
part 2, page 70. So I'll just say I don't wish to be nominated. And we can just strike out part 2 of the proposed resolution
So
if we
you
don't
just
wish to
strike
nominate
that out
anyone.
because you're written in.
That's for the representative at the meeting.
Oh, it's just the meeting. Okay, yeah. You're able to do that.
It's just part 2,
Yeah.
nominating someone to the
Yeah.
board, whatever it is, the authority.
It's not for me, that one.
We could just receive and like the correspondence.
We need to nominate someone to be the voting person. That's part 1 of the resolution.
Yeah, fine.
And then part 3
Choose not to nominate.
is would still be required to just notify the LGFA that I'm the voting person.
We just strike out number 2 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, based on that, what Councillor Williams said, I'm happy to move item 1 as written. Item 3 becomes item 2, and then we just number 2's gone.
Yeah.
Point, and then authorise the acting chief executive to arrange completion of the required. Do we need to put to notify the LGA of council's resolution? Yeah, I suppose that it's obviously we're not nominating anybody.
Okay, that's seconded by councillor Trotter. Anyone else like to speak for or against? All those in favour? Carried. Item 15.7, council committee and subsidiary membership appointments. I think this is self-explanatory, but does anyone have any questions? Okay, then I'll look for a mover. Thank you, councillor Trotter. That's seconded by councillor Zeppel. All those in favour? It's carried.
Thanks to the CEO for pulling us together. It's helpful.
Okay, item 15.8, Adelaide Parklands and MotoGP event. I will just look for a suspension of standing orders to discuss this one, please, if there's a show of hands. Yeah, so we'll suspend standing orders at 7:12. As council members know, we had a workshop about this and discussed the correspondence that had been received from the Lord Mayor and general feelings about this subject, plus the other correspondence that I had received on it. Since that workshop, I've had a long conversation with the Lord Mayor about it, and she sort of went into a bit more details about what some of the potential impacts might be on Walkerville. Two of the things that were of particular interest, I suppose, were the impact to town of Walkerville users of the parklands around here in our vicinity, which might be impacted by the MotoGP. So one of the sort of potential outcomes of all of this, and the draft track hasn't come out for consultation yet, and it's all still speculation, is that some of the track could go into the parklands, and then that will impact the users of the parklands at that point, particularly along Walkerville Terrace, where they will be displaced and will need to move into other sections of the parklands. So when you think about Walkerville Terrace, we're talking about the Fringe potentially, the Adelaide Bowling Club, other sporting users of that section of the parklands that might need to come into sections of the parklands that our groups use and might impact them. So that was part of the reason behind wanting to ask the question about what is any direct impact of the MotoGP on town of Walkerville users of the parklands, but also any indirect impacts because of the displacement of other users of the parklands that might end up over here. The other aspect of this was there's sort of indications that the state government might be interested in doing to the Adelaide parklands what was done to the northern parklands. And so what was done to the northern parklands was a new authority was set up, and the councils that are adjacent are required to contribute to the upkeep of the parklands. So if that was to happen to the Adelaide parklands, all of the adjoining councils would need to contribute to their upkeep. At the moment, their upkeep is paid for by the Adelaide City Council, and the Adelaide City Council isn't asking for any contribution from anyone, even though our council and other councils, community groups, use the parklands, schools and everything else. We don't know what that figure is. The spitballing figure is 2 million, 1 million, so it's a lot of money that we would need to find in our budget if that was to transpire. So I think that part of the resolution that I've put in this paper was about proactively putting our opposition towards that sort of authority being set up, which would require our council to contribute to the upkeep of the parklands in the future, if that is something that the state government is thinking about. And it has been mentioned by different groups. I think SCAP or whatever I can't remember, one of the authorities has said that that's a potential way to deal with the Adelaide parklands. So that's where I'm coming from, but I know, Councillor, if you've got something.
Yeah, I'm happy to read it out. Look, whilst that extra information is helpful and I'm broadly happy to support what's here, I don't want it appearing that we're just negative about events either, because I'm actually really supportive of what the state government are trying to do with, you know, the Adelaide 500, the MotoGP, just events in general that drive the economy and drive the state and support business, because we benefit from that type of thing along Walkerville Terrace as well. Our traders benefit. So, and if these type of events push more people into our township, our businesses benefit. So whilst I'm supportive of raising concerns around, say, the parklands and getting a further understanding, I'm going to put forward, I think, a new item, or propose a new item number 1 that states that the town of Walkerville recognises and supports the important role of South Australian government-led major events, projects and initiatives that contribute to growing the state's economy, supporting small and local business, creating employment, attracting visitors and investment, strengthening South Australia's tourism economy and promoting South Australia as a vibrant place to live, work, visit and do business. And then the rest will flow. Because I do understand, I don't want this just appearing that we're writing to the government and we're just negative, because that can have a really a real issue. Whilst we are concerned about the parklands or want to raise impact, I do think we should be broadly stating that we support the state government's initiatives to drive the economy and support our area, because we'll benefit from that. That's where I'm coming from with it. I'm happy if you want to type that out. That's why I just printed. I typed
It'll
it.
be easy for all members to see.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Any other thoughts from council members?
No, I'm happy to support councillor.
Yeah, because I mean
We just want to support the state government, definitely, because we need more funding, and definitely they have given us, in the past, they have helped us in building.
that's it. And if we want to get more,
Yeah.
if we want to get more funding in the long run, that's got to come from somewhere, and events and that make money for the state. So you've got to be.
Councillor Trotter?
I'm just, I agree on both sides. I see both sides. I also want to protect, given the opportunity that we don't have a lot of green space, we have to protect what we're using. We're also fighting an oval usage, and we're looking at Levi, so we do need to protect our green space here, whether that means in a collaboration and sharing. But, you know, I'm all for the economy and making sure that we keep things and maintain an active place in the state government. But I do I do think we need to protect the parklands that we do have, because as generations of sport and, you know, people are talking about mental health and being out in the parklands, we don't want it to deteriorate, and we don't want our ratepayers to have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's why it needs both. Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I'm afraid I'm against the motor GP. I think it should be down at Murray Bridge or nowhere. We don't know how much we're paying for it. I just don't think it's a great idea, but anyway, I don't really care all that much.
And so the resolution as it stands, you're not,
I wouldn't do anything.
yeah.
Personally.
Councillor Williams?
Thanks, Mayor Jones. Maybe, a question first. Has the, I'm sorry, I had trouble getting some of this, some of the, agenda up on my computer here earlier today, so I'm not sure whether this, part is part of it. But has the Premier been asked about the intention of setting up a separate body to manage, areas that, adjacent to or adjoining the parklands for the MotoGP? I know we just discussed, I was just wondering whether they'd been asked through the media or through any councils.
My understanding that the latest is that a new draft plan is circulating that has a different, slightly different format and does have more trees from the parklands being removed, but that's not an official release by the Premier. So the only thing official is the official announcement that was back whenever it was, before the state election.
So to your knowledge, there's nothing relating to a new entity being set up similar to that of Melbourne,
Similar to that of which one?
in Melbourne?
As in a motorsports authority?
Yeah.
I think there already is a motorsports authority that exists that runs the 500.
Yeah.
I think that's the same. I don't know if there's a new body done.
I guess it's going to be difficult to know until the actual course comes out and you can see everything that's happening. But I think I'd be inclined to agree with the comments of Councillor Trotters as well, how important green space is. Not denying Councillor Rip his opinion.
We need both. We need
Regarding
absolutely.
business. However, I think probably without seeing that and having time to consider that adjustment, I think I'd be more inclined to go with the recommendation that's there.
Councillor Zeppel, any thoughts?
I've got nothing more to add that hasn't already been spoken.
Well, if that's the end of Councillor Allison,
I just think from, it's such a wide potential between 45 and 80 something trees that could go. That's a significant difference. I just think with that unknown, we definitely should write. So at least I'm okay with Councillor Deputy Mayor Rip's addition.
I would say, could you put it as an acknowledgement? We acknowledge, as opposed to just making a statement.
No,
Is it
we acknowledge it. Yeah, we acknowledge the important role. Happy to change to that.
because we're
Yeah.
not? I think by
Okay.
acknowledging
I'm
that,
happy with that.
it's different to
We
going.
acknowledge the important role. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's all we acknowledge, well, the town of Walkerville acknowledges the important role. I'm happy with that.
So I'm happy to acknowledge it, but I don't think it should be a guideline as to why we don't do anything about it.
Oh, yeah, because what I said is, my recommendation is
Sorry,
that 2,
Chair.
3 and 4 stay in, the rest of it stays in. I'm not saying we pull anything out. Because I agree, we've got to preserve the parklands.
Councillor Williams?
I was actually only putting my glasses up on my head before I read the screen, but I was just going to say, would you mind making that figure into that, or I need to move closer?
Is that good?
Where are we? Oh,
At the top bit, yeah.
So I'm not suggesting any of this comes out, but for Liz. So I'm saying I agree with the rest. So the original recommendation 1, 2 and 3, I'm saying I actually agree with, and I've got my own concerns. But I also just don't want the whole thing to written that we're not supporting the role of events and all that.
And I think by
Generally.
saying we acknowledge that
Yeah.
there is a place for it,
Yeah,
but at
Yeah.
what cost to the town of Walkerville is all I'm meaning.
absolutely. No, the rest of it's all, I've got the same concerns as
Yeah.
well.
Really minor, the dash in Mares is in the wrong place. Number 2. Goes at the end of S.
Councillor Williams?
Where's still not.
We're still in suspension.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only other thought that I had with that, and I don't mind parts of it, is As much as we're not specifically going out and supporting the other council's motions that have been put forward, at the same time as wanting to support the state government, given the support that they've shown us, we also have to remember we have to deal with the other councils as well. So whether, I'll use the term, whether point one is a little erring too much on the side of brown nosing, that's just another consideration, which is why it would have been nice to have had an opportunity to think about that one prior to the moment.
That's part of the problem when you get the recommended with reports as well.
But there's no urgency in this, so if council wishes to defer it, it can be deferred as well. To think about it more, and perhaps a plan might come out.
There was something on the news tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get to hear it, but there was something regarding this, so whether it was a hashing up old ground, I don't know.
So we could defer this to next meeting, 'cause by then we may have the,
Yeah,
if there's no urgency, then I think that sounds a wise way of moving on it.
I dispute the apostrophe placement
Oh,
in number 2.
Oh, well,
Okay, we'll get the grammar police out.
yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
So I think we've come to the end of the
Yeah, I
discussion,
think
so
so.
we're going to go back into meeting procedures and I'm going to look for someone to move something. So we've got something that's a potential on the screen. It could be that, it could be what's in the report, or it could be to defer. It's up to you.
So if we
Councillor
want to
Trotter.
defer this for everyone to have a good look at it to make sure, what we would just need to say that we,
Defer this
defer
item until the next council
yeah.
meeting.
Okay. I don't get to defer very many.
I'm happy to move that this.
Sorry,
Oh.
Councillor Trotter, is that what you wish to move?
Are we,
We're
back
in
then? Okay, yeah, I would defer until there's some more clarity here at this point.
So until the next council meeting?
Yes,
That's moved by
It's not
councillor
urgent,
Trotter,
yeah.
and that's seconded by councillor Williams. Anyone like to speak for or against?
Can I just seek a question for clarification? If we're deferring the item, then the recommendation of item 1, 2 and 3 just gone altogether?
Yeah. That will all come out.
Thank you.
Steve, your part, you can put in prior to next.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
That's part of the report.
Okay, all those in favour? That's carried. Okay, item 15.9, appointment of independent member to the Air and Water Audit and Risk Committee, Town of Walkerville representative. Mohammed, anything to add to this report?
Nothing further to add, Mayor, thank you.
Any questions on the report? Okay, mover. Councillor Core, seconded by councillor Vanstone. All those in favour? That is carried. And now we're at item 16, information reports, and 16.1, the monthly works report, July 26. James, anything to add?
Through the chair, probably the only change since the last month's works report is the addition of traffic consultations. So you'll see there for July, we've undertaken a couple of local consultations that will provide updates on through the monthly works report.
Any questions from council members on this report? Okay, is there a mover? Thank you, councillor Zeppel, seconded by councillor Core. All those in favour? Carried. And item 16.2, the monthly financial report for July 26. Mohammed, anything to add?
Nothing further to add, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, any questions on this report? Councillor Core moves, thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Williams, all those in favour? That's carried. And item 16.3, Treasury Management Performance Review 25-26. And Mohammed, anything to add?
Nothing further to add, Mayor, thank you.
Any questions on the report? All those in Councillor Allenson, seconded by Councillor Core. All those in favour? That is carried. 16.4, Audit and Risk Committee Performance Report for financial year 25-26. Mohammed, anything to add?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Okay, any questions on this report? Okay, so mover, councillor Vanstone, seconded by councillor Trotter. All those in favour? That is carried. Item 16.5, Resilient East Climate Action Plan 26 to 31. James, anything to add?
Through the chair, this just follows on from Monday night's workshop.
Any questions on the report? Okay, mover, councillor Trotter, seconded by councillor Core. All those in favour? Is carried. Item 16.6, Benson Court Development Application, 61 Walkerville Terrace, Walkerville. I think, is it still called Benson Court or have they changed the name now?
The sign has not gone up, but it will be 61
Yeah.
terrace.
Okay.
What will it be?
61.
61 Walkerville Terrace.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's imaginative, isn't it?
Apparently 61A, 61B.
What the hell is it possible to come up with that?
It's going to change. soon.
There's
Okay.
a consultant that got paid for it.
Any questions on the report?
Yeah.
And then I'll look for a mover. Councillor Trotter, seconded by councillor Core. All those in favour? Carried. Okay, item 16.7, Chief Executive Officer Procurement Waiver Register 2526. Mohammed, anything to add?
Just one item only. The events organizer that we used last year, we're not going to use the external event organizer this year. We will do it all in-house, so we'll save that amount there. Thank you, Mayor.
Great.
Okay, any questions? That's moved by councillor Core, seconded by councillor Vanstone. All those in favour? That is carried. Okay, we're now at item 17, confidential reports. And the first one is item 17.1, St Andrew's Church discretionary rate refund request.
We're going to move into confidence.
We will. So the first thing to do is to move into confidence.
Do we get the prize?
So is there a mover? Councillor Zeppel, seconder, councillor Trotter, all those in favour, that is, sorry, councillor Hall, you're in favour, yep. That's carried, so at 7:32 we are moving into confidence.